I bought a space shuttle.
You what?
NASA is getting rid of all their space shuttles. I bought one.
You don't have the money for
I'm having
space shuttle.
I'm having it
millions of dollars.
I'm having it gold plated.
Dude, you say the craziest shit.
That's
to
billions of dollars.
Act like you're rich.
Some podcasts are slow, and you don't know how long they last. That's why you're listening to 10-Minute Podcast.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Podcast. My name is Will Sasso.
I'm Bryan the Kid Callen.
And I'm Chris D'Elia. I want to know what money you're going to use to get that fucking space shuttle. The 30 grand you made for fucking Three Stooges.
Hey,
Hey,
he made
I
more
made a
than
lot
that,
more.
dude. He's going to make more
money.
on residuals.
My shit, my dad says money.
All right, well, dude, a space shuttle costs...
It still costs way too much money.
Right now, going rate is about $27,000. You can buy a space shuttle.
That's not true. That's not true.
I bought one, and Jaleel White bought one, and I think...
First of all, that's so fucking weird. I don't think you're telling the truth.
And Elton Brand, who's a basketball player.
Yeah.
All right.
Those are the only guys who have.
Sixth man?
Now they're out. Yeah, I don't know. I forget where he plays. I used to play for the Clippers or something.
Right.
Anyway, I got a space shuttle. I don't know where to put it.
That's
you
great.
bought one already?
I bought it. I have it.
You know what? You're a fucking idiot, dude.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man.
You're getting me tense.
Don't call me that.
You're getting me fucking
Hey,
tense.
Chris.
Hey, Chris, you're making
Hey,
muscles.
guys. Hey, audience listening abroad. You want to hear how to get Chris really pissed off? Watch this. Hey, man.
Don't do that.
Hey, man.
You fucking piss
Hey,
me
man.
Hey, do we have that awesome tweet that guy from Turkey
What?
sent? There was a tweet I saw, or like a message that you texted
Oh,
me.
hey, Chris. Brian's trying to talk about the internet again.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, Brian, you way to go, buddy, man. You
Oh
don't
my
fucking
God.
get shit.
It's
First of all,
like-
that was not a tweet. This is how fucking clueless Brian is. That was not a tweet.
I'm not
and
good
you
at
can
this shit.
listen, and you can tell it wasn't a tweet. You know why? Because it was 4,000 characters.
There you go.
Okay? And it was a review of our podcast on iTunes.
Well,
on fucking iTunes.
we read all the reviews, so if you guys write them.
That's like I
wanna read a
that's
lot
like
of
Brian. That's just like a dad, just like a fucking dad at home, like with a hey kids, did you guys get that new iPod?
Did you read that tweet?
Hey, did you guys read the Twitter?
Guys,
Hey kids, I got a Twitter. It's
I'm
called
not that much older than you fucking
all
guys.
we do, but you act like it.
Stop ganging up on me.
Hey kids, I'm gonna call my tweeter Daphne and Brandon's dad tweets. No, Dad, that's too long. Anyway.
Stop
think-
ganging up on me.
Yo,
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay, look, here's the deal. You guys fucking... First of all we do is bullshit on this fucking podcast, okay?
Yeah.
I think that... I honestly got to say, I think that the show's missing something.
What?
What could it possibly be missing? Nothing.
No, I think that, like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, and, like, you know, it's like...
What, you want to talk about politics? And
Don't
stuff?
talk about
you guys
our
know,
audience.
I'm not, listen. You guys know that I'm not very political, right?
you don't
Okay.
read.
You're not.
You don't read
hold on.
anything.
And no, news for you, dude. Here's a current event. I've been reading the newspaper for the past few months, and I think that we should do a segment.
No. Look,
Can we
let me
do
tell
it?
you something.
What do you mean a segment?
That will be a mistake. Our audience knows what they get from the 10-minute podcast. They don't want us to.
But I think it might be a good idea to, you know, there's a lot of things that people want to talk about. There's hot button issues that, you know, I've been learning about, and I think that we should do a segment.
Let me, just as an example, what would your segment be called?
I don't know, like current Eventin it with Chris or something.
That's the dumbest. That makes no sense. It completely. Nobody's gonna think that that's a reliable news source.
I like it.
And now, current eventing it with Chris.
Hey, listeners, welcome to Current Eventin' It with Chris.
What the fuck was that?
And
Who was that guy?
Here we talk about hot button issues all across the world.
Wait a minute.
And we offer opinions, and we get to hear about you guys, what you guys want to talk.
All right,
So,
go ahead, let him go,
you guys, let's do one here. I've been noticing today, and in the past few days, how do you guys feel about the Greek voters punishing two main parties for the collapse? What do you think about that?
I have a commentary on that. They're very far away in Greece, and don't give a shit. Don't give even a shit.
Now, see, that's the problem with you guys today, okay? Now, let me tell you something, because it was plunged into uncertainty on Sunday, and the voters bolstered a neo-Nazi right wave of protest.
You're just reading off
that
your
and
computer.
acting like you're making commentary. You read that right off the computer.
You read it off your laptop.
You're acting like you're saying it in conversational English, but you just read it.
No, that's not true. The outcome, along with that in France, is expected to resonate far beyond Europe, and I possibly What's that?
Say it again and try it in English.
The outcome, I'm saying France, and it's because it's a hot button issue, and you gotta understand.
Issue. Do you know what you're even fucking saying?
Of course I do.
Do you know what the issue in France is? What is it?
Yes. First of all, Greek voters are punishing two main parties for their collapse. Okay?
You're reading that.
No, I'm not reading it. But you've got lobbyists everywhere.
What is the collapse? What's the collapse in Greece?
Yeah, it's all about this. Yeah, it all comes down to one fucking hot button issue. But what I'm trying to tell
What
you,
is the
I
collapse?
swear to God, if you say hot button issue one more time, I'll fucking knock you out with my microphone.
Okay, here's another question. What's going on in France right now?
France?
Yeah, what's the headline?
We're talking about
I know
Greek.
I know what's not going on in France.
What?
Fucking showering.
Okay.
And
All right, dude, don't be ignorant.
That's what's not going on.
That's not true.
I'll tell you what is going on in
shower.
France, though. Some fucking pretty tasty triple cream cheeses and
All right,
bread.
Well, you think about food and dick and
I don't.
the 10-minute
You guys,
podcast.
this is not. China, in old tradition, races to airbrush fallen leader out of the public life. So now there's a guy in China, obviously, he's leading a bunch of guys. And the thing is that when you try to follow him, if he's a fallen leader and they're trying to airbrush him out of the public life, what is the deal with that?
You're the worst.
No, I'm not.
You're
okay?
the worst political commentator in the history of the world.
And I'll tell you something too. In Chongqing, China, until recently, visitors they arrived to the urban planning exhibition hall where he greeted with a high-tech shrine to Bo Zilal, and it's like, what? I'm trying to ask you guys if that's a hot button issue or not.
Do you say it again? You said hot button issue again. I'm getting real mad.
You're the worst news anchor / political commentator in the world. You don't read.
I'm not.
This is the first time you've ever read a headline. You have no idea what's going on.
No.
Right. Who's the president of France?
Well, first of all, we're not talking about France, and that's obviously you're trying to deflect it because you don't know anything about China. Because in February, 2 days after Mr. Bo's police chief Wang Lijian sought to refuse an American consulate, and the consulates out there are fucking crazy. If you're talking about lobbyists and you're talking about partisans, then what you got to do is you've got to. There's an underlying hot button issue that we're all afraid of, and the cultural revolution, and it's further tweaked during the political purges that followed the.
You're reading.
No, I'm not. Chris, you're literally.
So you're saying that there wasn't Tiananmen Square protests in July 1989?
Hey, that's not saying bullshit. That. We're not.
That is bullshit because we all know that.
Dude, you're freaking out.
Okay, look, this is the 10-minute podcast. We should be talking about beating the shit out of each other, or Brian, you're a fucking asshole.
Lessons of Iraq helped U.S. fight a drug war in Honduras.
Okay, Chris,
and I'm telling you,
Chris, what you're out of your mind.
No.
What is? Let's see how much you know about politics. Who is the U.S. Secretary of State?
Okay, look, dude, we're talking. Now, here's the deal.
Who
you don't
is
know
the
about
U.S. Secretary of State?
Now, there's an operating base in
Who is
Morocco,
the U.S. Secretary of
Honduras.
State?
The United States military is pressing.
I'm closing this.
Please don't close that. I'm on Facebook. I'm chatting.
Who's the vice president?
Jaleel White.
No, it's not Jaleel White.
I didn't say Jaleel White.
Honduras is the latest focal point of American drug war.
I don't
and that's very obvious. Now let me tell you something.
Can we just talk about the size of our dicks or
no?
Hey,
you know what? We can. In the meantime, there's a drug war going on in Honduras, and as Mexico puts the squeeze on narcotics barons using its territory to transistor hub. I mean, more than 90% of cocaine.
Okay, take his fucking computer away.
Look,
take his fucking computer.
Listen to me.
No, stop. Fucking. Let's talk about dick size.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who
that
fucked
would be a good
chick.
idea. Let's talk about that when amid Brazil's rush to develop, workers resist. You know what, you guys? You can talk about dick size, but it's like this: the revolt on the banks of Madeira River, the Amazon's. Now that's the Amazon's largest tributary flared after sunset.
Fjord,
yeah,
not
fjord, not
no,
flared.
It's flared.
Fjord.
Now,
it's fjord.
Flared.
You fucking idiot.
If you're looking at me like it's not a hot button issue, then I'm going to come at you with all my lobbyists and all my my different parties. First of all, it doesn't matter whether you're a part of the.
What are you doing to our show?
The Democratic parties, you're part of the Republican parties, even if you're independent, you got to understand.
No, stop.
You got to understand that in Brazil,
thank God!
there's a rush to develop.
That was the worst podcast we've ever done in our lives.
This is what the fuck.
You guys are jealous that I'm politically.
You should call your
now.
political segment "What the Fuck" because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Chris, that. If I may, I don't know why did you hijack the show and turn it into a political news hot button news show?
Because there's some shit out there that people are trying to turn their heads and they're trying to pretend like it's not happening.
Yeah, and
with jokers like you talking about your dick size and shitting, and excuse me for trying to make the world a better place by getting people informed about hot button issues.
No, they can go to.
You're not informed. You're not informed.
I am informed. How did I know about all that shit about that was going on in Brazil?
They can go to the Guardian UK. They can go to fucking.
How did I know about all the fucking Iraqi bullshit?
You don't need.
How did I know about all the Iraqi bullshit?
You read it off the internet. Thanks for listening to the 10-Minute Podcast. We're on Twitter and Stitcher and iTunes. Thanks for subscribing.
Fuck you.
10minutepodcast.com.